The MKast.
Another question. I got one here from MK Warehouse. Do throws and combo breakers work the same as the last games? If not, how have they changed?
They work similar. Combo breakers for sure work pretty much identical to the last few iterations of 3D games. The differences are, they require meter now. We kind of dabbled with that in MK versus DC, something we kind of liked. Something I like about combo breakers is it's kind of a way they're meant to be a victim's way to kind of reset if things are going really badly, right? If someone's like rushing you down and you're just completely getting dominated, you're going to build up meter faster because you're getting hit, and getting hit is one of the ways that we'll probably talk about that later, I'm sure, but getting hit is one of the ways that you build up meter very quickly, and it doesn't scale with the damage scaling. So even if you're getting hit in the air with a some 8-9 hit juggle combo, while the damage is ramping down, the amount of meter you're getting is not ramping at all. It stays consistent, right? So something we want to make sure that would happen is that combo breakers are used as a defensive tool, not an offensive tool. So that's why we're having them tied to the super meter. So if you're getting beat up, there's a better chance that your meter's filling, which means there's a better chance you have a combo breaker. Something that we found in the last games where you had X number of combo breakers, at the beginning of a match, and you could choose them wherever you wanted to, was that a lot of times they would turn into an offensive weapon where if you built up a good enough lead and just saved your combo breakers, there was literally no way that someone could kind of come back because they started a combo on you and you're like, no. Done. Something else we do is you could break combos on the initial hit.
You have to be in a combo now to actually execute a combo breaker. And we wanted to try that last game, but we're definitely trying it out for this game. So I think that'll make a big difference.
So I can't just sit there and hold block and towards and be ready to go. I actually have to be in the middle.
You have to be in the middle of the combo.
Yeah. So that's something we found a lot of people did also is just they use it to break. Sometimes an accident, right? You use it to break one hit, right? Well, I don't really want to waste my combo breaker on someone throwing a block jab, right? It's like that doesn't make a whole lot of sense for either side.
A lot of times they come out by accident. That was one of the big things I've seen.
Yeah. So now one is way more consistent when they come out, and they're more defensive than offensive. And then about throws, it's probably something Paul can talk about.
Every character will have at least 2 throws. They'll have a throw to throw the character towards you, and also a throw to throw behind you to switch positions. And then some characters will have more throws in that. Like Cyrex, for example, has his throw where he smacks you with the bomb and then blows up the bomb. You get knocked away. He's got a version of it where he smacks you with the bomb and jumps over you, and then that sends you in the other direction. But then he also has a third throw where he grabs you and pulls you in, and then right there it stops. But then there's also a button command you can do where he'll actually do a forward combo and separate the 2 guys. So he's got a third throw example.
So you're confirming that there's command throws in this one?
Yeah. Something that we're trying to do is make sure that all fighters kind of have their own personality, their own style with their fight style. So we have characters that are projectile heavy. We have characters that are like rush down melee guys. We have characters that are grapplers, things like that. So definitely feel like the more grappler-like characters there would be various ways to grab someone and perform vicious, cool throws. And I wish I could talk about some of them, but I can't because we haven't released these characters yet.
That's all I got in my head.
Don't say anything.
Yeah, but there's definitely command grabs. A lot of like Paul was saying, some people even have grabs like inside combos, things like that, or as combo starters.
Yeah, like Kung Lao's got a couple of grabs, or it's in the middle of his combo. He's got a punch and a low kick, and then from there you can actually go into a grab. It's like a different grab, and then from that grab, it actually has a couple of different things you can do out of it.
Yeah, these branch based on what kind of damage you want to do to somebody. If they hit high-low, things like that. What sort of reaction it puts them in. If it sets them up for combo continuation. So. It's pretty cool.
This is some high-level talk that you guys are talking about here.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of the fans out there are pretty savvy, right? Like we're all fighting game guys. We grew up playing all.
But I think one thing that's interesting that you guys keep bringing back is like how you guys really want to stylize and make each character very much their own character. The idea is that no one's like, this is just a cut and paste of this character and a cut and paste of that one.
Yeah, that's kind of about back in the day when you had couple hundred K or 1 meg, for an entire game.
That was a lot.
You had to share a lot of stuff, right? But now, every fighter has, no one shares anything. Well, I won't say no one shares anything. There may be 1 or 2 small things here or there, but the meat of a character, all their fighting style stuff, all their specials, throws, X-rays, get-ups, intros, victories, all that stuff is custom to the character itself. And that goes a long way when someone picks up and says, hey, I want to play Reptile. They know they're not just picking up a cloned version of someone else. They're playing a fully formed character that was thought of as
its
this is what makes
its own
reptile.
weaknesses.
Right.
There's another question here from Enron John. Speaking to the X-ray thing and the individuality of each characters, can X-ray moves be canceled into from regulars, specials, or normals, or are they used more as punishments or in traps? That's a pretty high-level question.
That's a really good question. The thing about X-rays is they all are based around the personality and style, fight style of the character they're assigned to. So there's no such thing as just like the generic X-ray. Every X-ray has its own individual properties. So some are projectiles like Sector's, right? Sector is more of a mid-range to far-range projectile guy. Like even a lot of his in-close melee attacks he has, like his palm strike, will actually separate the characters to kind of get him back into projectile range. So it kind of makes sense that he would have a projectile-based X-ray. That way he has the best chance to utilize that attack in his own fighting style. We don't want characters that are like, oh, hey, I'm a projectile, keep away kind of character, but my X-ray is an in-close command grab, right? It's like, you're not going to be in that situation all that often. If you are, you're playing the character wrong, right? So we want to make sure that that the fight style kind of determines the type of X-ray. Johnny Cage has a parry, right? He's an in-close melee guy. He has two projectiles like a shadow kick, but the projectiles are generally slower. They have stranger trajectories, so it's kind of more difficult to use those as full-fledged distance.
They're almost defensive.
They're part of the guy's tools. They're part of the character's tools. We don't want them to be just a randomly scattered out thing. We want it to actually make sense with the character's moveset.
Yeah, so like Johnny Cage will be in close, so he's gonna be in melee and throwing a lot of punches and kicks. In close, like trying to rush the guy down. So it makes sense that his would be a parry because then he can like fake an opening, go into his parry. The guy, I have an opening against him. They try to hit him, and Johnny Cage parries it, counters it, and beats the living trash out of him. That kind of goes into also like some X-ray combos can be comboed into, right? Some X-ray combos can be comboed out of. Some X-ray combos are one-offs. Some are parries, some are projectiles, some are teleports. Some are, there's a huge variety. There's a lot of flexibility. And something else that always comes up is, right now all the X-rays just do a whole ton of damage, right? Like that stuff hasn't been tweaked at all. So the chances that, an X-ray that can be comboed into and comboed out of, like currently Cyrax's, I think, can be, right? Like you can bomb somebody and do the pop-up version and knock them up. And then at the end of it, like Paulo can do, is combo after it. That one probably is not going to be doing 45% damage because as a tool, it's got so many setups and combo extension at the end of it.
12% is what you're saying.
Yeah, so it'll do no damage and just be a link between individual combos.
It'll heal the other character.
Yeah, it'll heal the other character. No, that's something that's really important. Is like all the footage that's been seen so far, X-rays just do a buttload of damage. That's more just for demo purposes.
Yeah, damage in general is something that we're not going to get around to tweaking until a lot more characters.
Yes,
we do take the time out to make it kind of a little bit more realistic when we're doing shows and stuff like that, because obviously we don't want
the full super. Has a lot
we don't want to put anything in there that the public is going to get their hands on and just feel that the game is blatantly.
Well, the thing about also the fact that the demo is really to show off certain aspects of the game, but it's not necessarily balanced or tweaked to the point where we want it.
Yeah, like you're not going to be able to do 4 X-rays in one round, right? Like that just doesn't. It doesn't make sense. Unfortunately,
that was my attack.
It just doesn't make sense. An X-ray is each character's most powerful tool that they have. You've saved up this meter to do it. You should get a big payoff. But then again, we don't want it to be this overriding. This thing trumps all of the gameplay.
It seems more like a reward at that point than it is.
Yes.
Where you
because we have so many cool things that the super meter is tied to. Like all of our tag stuff and. The enhanced versions of special moves and whatnot, combo breakers. You have to kind of figure out, do I want to save this or do I want to use it for these other things, right? So.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna go off in a little bit of a different direction on this question. This one comes from Soul Reaper 86. Wants to know if you guys are planning to bring back Conquest mode from like Deception and Armageddon.
Ooh, APEP. Is APEP in the game?
APEP is not in the game.
APEP is not in the game. We really enjoy making those type of modes, but with this kind of like the rebooting of the franchise, we want to do more of a, pay attention to the core gameplay And I think that was something like, okay, we get over these mini games, we spend a lot of time and resources and a lot of people working on the mini games or the conquest mode. Even though I mean personally, I loved working on those, but if we can't put enough time into it, I'd rather just work on the fighting game.
We're gonna have plenty of single player content though for people to go through. We've actually got some pretty cool stuff coming.
A lot of the single player content will be based on the 2D fighting game.
Yeah.
We're just not going to have these divergent kind of game modes that are going to take away from the core experience of the people.
We'll have some alternative to those type of mini games that are, more into the actual gameplay, linked toward actual gameplay, than something completely different.
I mean, there is bowling combat. But besides that, besides bowling combat, there's no weird.
Don't be starting rumors. People are gonna be like, "I heard it. John Edwards said it is," and also maybe all these Twitters.
Don't be making stuff up, man. We get in trouble for making stuff up.
Don't be making stuff up.
Matusalix, Valeo Matusalix. I don't know how to say this.
I truly appreciate the effort.
Asks, how many attacks will we be able to do while the opponent is up in the air? That's for all the jugglers out there.
Jugglers, yeah. That's a hard question. It varies based on the character. Like some characters will do, maybe more combo heavy, so they may do less damage overall, but be able to juggle someone more than someone else. It's all just based around the, a player's fighting style. So I mean, we're not going to do 100 hits, right, or 50, 60 hits. Like that's probably not going to happen.
We do have combo scaling in there also. Like if you pop a guy up, you go and hit him with the jab, he's going to go to this reaction. When you hit him with another one, that reaction is going to be slightly different, where it's going to be heavier, it's going to be faster. So you're not going to be able to sit there and just pop it up and do the same reaction over and over again. There's a lot of combo scaling in there to pretty much limit combos somewhat, but that combo scaling is also based on the character. Like some people, like Katana can actually juggle you for a bunch of hits, where Sub-Zero, his combos are usually smaller, but they do more damage.
Yeah. Pretty much anything you've had in the 2D games you've kept pretty true to. So like if it's a combo jump kick, teleport, spear type of thing, you definitely wanted to keep all those true.
Yes.
Nostalgia, those type of moves and combos that you remember from when you were younger.
My favorite, like Katana, like the fan lift, jump kick fan to the square wave, right? It's like, we're trying to make sure that all those classic, combos, like MK2 and MK3, MK1 combos are represented in our new engine. They still feel just as cool as they felt.
Yeah, I saw some kids at the show
back in the day,
pick up the controller the first time and do fan lift jump kick, you're like, oh wow.
Yeah, Scorpion, jabs someone in there, throwing a spear, pulling them in uppercut.
Yeah, but also on top of that, you got a bunch more different things you can do.
Yes.
With the same characters, which opens up a much bigger combo palette you have to work with.
Yeah, everything's kind of based around tools now. So we try to give fighters, like a pop up is a tool, right? How high does it pop the guy up? How far away does it pop them up? Things like that. Like we kind of give these tools to the player inside the fighters that they enjoy playing, and that kind of determines what type of combos and juggles and things that you can do with them.